Good evening and welcome to news updates on Carnival Radio. I am Timidayo Adebiye. On the news this evening, the Federal High Court in Abuja has sentenced three suspects linked to the abduction of pupils and teachers in Orire local government area of Oyo State to life imprisonment. Justice Salim Ibrahim ordered that the life sentence should take effect from the date of the convict's arrest, Channel TV reports. He handed down the sentence after convicting Abdurazak Umar, also known as Abu Khalifa Abu Khalid, Yunusa Musa, Yunusa bin Musa, and Shamsu Adamu Sane on charges connected to terrorism and the kidnapping incident. The defendants had earlier pleaded guilty to some of the allegations brought against them by the federal government, while denying others. They were arraigned on a 10-count charge bordering on terrorism, kidnapping, concealment of information, incitement, and legal mining. The federal government accused the trio of belonging to Darussalam, an affiliate of Jamaatul Asaru Muslima FI Bilandin Sudan, a proscribed terrorist organization in Nigeria. The prosecution alleged that the defendants, all from Suleja local government area of Niger State, conspired with other suspects, including Mohammed Sani, Jibril Mohammed, Ibrahim Kabab, between January and May 2026 to facilitate the abduction of school children and teachers in Oyo State. They were also accused of concealing information about the identities and the activities of the alleged masterminds of the attack, despite being aware of the plot. During proceedings, the defendants admitted to concealing information about those responsible for the school attack and acknowledged their membership of Darul Salam. While Oteri pleaded guilty to counts 4 and 6 of the charge, only Umar admitted guilt on additional counts bordering on providing training and instructions to members of the group through a WhatsApp platform titled The Oneness of Allah is the Foundation of Peace. However, they pleaded not guilty to the remaining counts. Following their guilty pleas, the Director of Public Prosecution of the Federation, Mr. Rotimi Oyedepo, who led the prosecution team, urged the court to sentence the defendants on the counts they admitted. Before the sentencing, counsel for the defendants pleaded with the court for leniency, describing them as first time offenders who had shown remorse by pleading guilty. The defense counsel argued that the charges they committed were not directly related to the kidnapping itself and appealed to the court to consider their family responsibilities, noting that they were married men with children and had aged parents dependent on them. He urged the court to give them an opportunity for a second chance. However, prosecution counsel argued that the convicts were aware of the activities of those involved in the attack and, as responsible citizens, ought to have reported the information to security authorities. The federal government had alleged that the defendants committed offences contrary to the provisions of the Terrorism Prevention and Prohibition Act 2022, including sections relating to conspiracy, aiding terrorism, concealment of terrorist activities, and membership of a proscribed organization. The court, after considering the submissions of both parties, convicted the defendants and sentenced them to life imprisonment. On May 15, gunmen invaded Community Grammar School, Baptist Nursery and Primary School, and LA Primary School in the SCLA and Yawata communities of Oriri local government, abducting 46 people comprising 39 students and 7 teachers. The assistant headmaster of LA Primary School, Joel Adesiyan, was killed while attempting to escape during the raid, while a mathematics teacher, Michael Yedokun, was killed by his abductors. The remaining victims regained their freedom on July 10, following an intelligence-led military operation targeting the kidnappers' hideouts in the old Oyo National Park. The Nigerian army announced that 44 pupils and teachers were rescued, while 8 suspected gang members were arrested. The presidency also stated that no ransom was paid and no concessions were made to the kidnappers, who had reportedly demanded 1 billion, and the release of a detained commander. Following the rescue operation, the federal government filed a 10-count charge against the three suspects over their alleged involvement in the abduction. The charges bordered on terrorism, kidnapping, concealment, incitement, and illegal mining. In another development, the Dangote Petroleum Refinery has resumed the sale of premium motor spirit, popularly called petrol in naira, ending its brief dollar denominated pricing regime, while increasing its ex-depot price by 140 naira per liter. The latest development comes 1 week after the 650,000 barrels per day refinery suspended truck loading of petrol and switched to dollar pricing, a decision that unsettled the downstream petroleum market, constrained supplies, and triggered a sharp increase in depot prices. The resumption of Naira transactions was communicated to marketers in a notice issued by the refinery's commercial department on Wednesday and was independently confirmed by industry platform Petrolize NJ. The notice showed that the gantry price of petrol increased from 1,075 naira per liter to 1,315 naira per liter, representing an increase of 140 naira or 13.02%. The coastal loading price also rose from 1.4 million per liter to 1.6 million per metric ton. The communication, titled PMS Charge Communication, stated that the revised prices took immediate effect. It read, "Please be advised that all unloaded gantry volumes will be subject to repricing at the new price, which is effective 22nd July 2025." In further developments, the House of Representatives on Thursday passed the executive bill seeking to establish state police, marking a significant step toward decentralizing Nigeria's policing system. The bill was approved during plenary after the House withdrew its earlier constitutional amendment proposal on the establishment of state police, opting instead to adopt the executive bill. The passage also follows the Nigerian Senate's approval of its version of its legislation, bringing the country closer to adopting a dual policing system aimed at strengthening internal security and improving law enforcement at the state level. And in Rivers State, the Rivers State Police Command said its operatives have smashed the kidnapping syndicate, arrested four suspects, and rescued victims. The suspects were said to have kidnapped a woman while she was attending to customers at a shop in Alu Community, Kwere local government area of the state, before whisking her away to an unknown destination. The police said the woman was rescued following an operation launched by the command, adding that the operational vehicle used by the suspects was also recovered. The command said the arrest followed a distress call from the victim's spouse, simply identified as Mr. Ikechukwu, prompting an immediate response. The spokesperson for the Rivers State Police Command, Blessing Agabe, disclosed this in a statement issued in Port Harcourt on Thursday. And on foreign scenes, a 45-year-old Nigerian, Okoyegene Patrick Udogba, has been indicted by the federal grand jury in the United States on charges of money laundering and conspiracy to commit wire fraud and mail fraud over an alleged romance scam and business email compromise scheme. The United States Attorney's Office for the Middle District of Pennsylvania announced the indictment in a statement on Wednesday, alleging that Udugba, who resides in Frisco, Texas, orchestrated overlapping fraud schemes with others. According to the statement, Udugba and other orchestrated overlapping romance and business email compromise schemes. This statement alleged that the members of the syndicate sent emails from spoofed addresses in Nigeria while posing as representatives of the United States Fish and Wildlife Services. The U.S. Attorney's Office said the case is being investigated by the Federal Bureau of Investigation and the United States Postal Inspector Police Service, Homeland Security Investigation, and the Department of the Interior Office, while Assistant United States Attorney Sarah R. Lloyd is the prosecuting officer. It added that the prosecution forms part of the Homeland Security Task Force initiative targeting transnational criminal organizations and fraud. On sports, Arsenal have completed the signing of Greece international forward Christos Solis from Club Brugge for a reported fee of 34 million. The 24-year-old has joined the Premier League champions on a long-term contract, with the club describing him as an extremely versatile attacking player who can operate across the front line. As reported by BBC Sports on Thursday, Zolis arrives at the Emirates Stadium after an impressive spell at Club Brugge, where he scored 43 goals and 45 assists in 108 appearances. His arrivals follows the departure of Belgium forward Leandro Trossard to Besiktas earlier this month. Arsenal sporting director Andrea Betta praised the new signing's qualities, highlighting his technical ability, finishing, and versatility. Christos naturally operates on the left but is comfortable across the front line. He's an excellent finisher with both feet, thrives in tight spaces and possesses incredible technical ability. He added that Solly's attacking output over recent seasons would strengthen Arsenal's squad and bring energy, enthusiasm, and a strong mentality to the team. That wraps up news updates on Carnival Radio. I remain Tim Adebi. Do have a wonderful day.